So welcome. My name is Beto. I work as a developer success engineer at Expo, and I'm super happy to be chatting with you guys tonight about local first and mobile development with Expo. So my goal in this short talk is to explain what is React Native, what is Expo, and how it supports, how it works, how Expo, because of its unique architecture, benefits from the local first architecture and some of the local first solutions out there, and inspire you to build and explore ideas that are local first with Expo and Instant. So let's dive in. So first of all, what is local first? Local first the term was first coined by the research lab Ink and Switch. And some of you might know this engineer, researcher, doctor, whatever, Martin. He's the legendary guy that published the Designing Data Intensive Applications book, and he's one of the authors of Local First Software by Ink and Switch. They basically laid down seven concepts about local first applications. And basically, if you build a local first application, the way you know it's a local first application is by checking out these 7 points here. Sorry about that. Not sure why the last one is not able to. Okay, cool, thank you. First of all, a local first application needs to be fast, needs to be multi-device, meaning that if a user has multiple devices, Android, iOS, web, they should be able to move across platforms seamlessly. It should work offline. It should be collaborative, meaning that if you want to share something with your wife, your friends, you can do it, and it's going to work great for all. It needs to be long-lived. This means that even if you, as the developer, goes out of business, the application is going to still work. The user should be able to open the app, see their data, download their data, and keep using the application. It needs to be private, needs to be secure, and the user needs to be in control of the application all the time, and most importantly, in control of the data. So, can we build local first applications with Expo? The answer is yes, and actually I started building local first, some prototypes, nothing super big, some prototypes that use the local first architecture like a year ago, and I'm super surprised of how fast local first technologies are emerging and the new services offered by many of them. And just to give you an example of an application that I built a year ago, just to give you an example of how these 7 principles would look like on a real application, I built a very simple shopping list application that you can download right now in the App Store in case you're curious. And it's also open source. It's a great example in case you're curious about this technology. Let me show you how this would look like in action here. Yeah, that's my iPhone. So because I built this application using Expo, by default it works on Android, iOS, and web. And honestly, I haven't updated it since I published it like a year ago. And let's see if it works. This is, by the way, a fully native application. I even added widgets. As you can see here, it's a standalone app. If I open it, I'm able to see my items. So let me just log out just so that we're on the same page. It has authentication, Apple, Google, whatever. You can sign in. I'm going to sign in with Apple. I'm going to use my Expo account. And let's do the same on the website. It's the same code base, by the way. Now, on the website, I'm going to use a different account just so that we get a better understanding of how this works. Let me approve that. Okay, we're good. Then on the iPhone, let's see. Okay, so I have 2 different users, 2 different lists. And let me create one here on my phone. It's easier. I'm going to create a new list. I'm going to call this one Meetup. Done. That's it. Actually, it's going to be tricky to join the list. Let me actually create one from the web. It's the same UI. I didn't really put too much work on the UI, but let's call this one test 2. Hit enter. Okay, there we go. So I have this list, and I can start collaborating by just scanning this QR code. So on the left, when I create a new list, I can press scan QR code, and yeah, I don't think it's going to. It's very far away, but don't worry. QR code detected. So now I'm the same list. let me close this screen. It's very hard to demo, sorry. But yeah, now we both are collaborating here, and I can start creating stuff. So as soon as I create a new thing, it's there, I can toggle it, and the other user is able to see it. Even if I update it, you can see that it changes in real time. Now what's cool about this is that even if I go offline, so I'm going to enable airplane mode and start using the application, I'm just going to type numbers 1, let's do this 2. Oh, I'm still connected to the Wi-Fi. Let me turn the Wi-Fi off. Okay, 3, it's not there. Let's do 4, just for fun. It's not there. And what's cool is that the other users can still use the application. Let's do, I don't know, 10. Now what happens when I enable my Wi-Fi again? We end up with the same state. This is a little project I built, nothing serious. It's open source, you can check it out.
What did you use?
So, before I tell you what I used, I want to tell you, well, yeah, this is actually some of the local first technologies out there that you can use today with Expo, first class support for Expo. Maybe you know, so you already recognize some of them. Shout out to Instant, the guys that are hosting tonight. Thank you. But the application is using TinyBase, one of the solutions, and we have a document actually in the Expo documentation that you can check it out, and we lay down how you can use all these technologies with Expo. Before I tell you how is that React Native benefits with, React Native and Expo benefits from all of these technologies right out of the box, because it's rendering native views on iOS and Android. And let me tell you how that works. For those who don't know, React Native, maybe everyone is familiar with React Native. React Native?
React Native?
Have you used it? Okay. So React Native is an open source project developed by Meta. They open sourced it in 2015. It's a framework that allows you to build multi-platform applications. You can target web, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and it's very powerful. It comes with a great architecture that basically enables you to write React and TypeScript code. Maybe you are already familiar with React, you are ready to start developing a React Native application. The way it works, this is very crucial to understand, to then understand again why it's easier to adopt these technologies for building local first applications with Expo. The way it works is that a React Native application consists at a high level overview of 2 parts, the native side and the JavaScript side, or React code. And in these 2 parts, communicate through something called JSI, which stands for JavaScript interface. We don't really need to care too much about it. It's very low-level stuff. But when you write React code, I can hold it. When you write React code, the React code gets translated to the native platform that is targeting. So if you are developing for iOS, if you create a view using React, something like a div, it's going to get translated to a native view of that platform, including buttons, including context menus, whatever you write, it's going to be translated to native stuff. This architecture unlocks pretty powerful stuff. First of all, if you're already familiar with React, you're cool to start developing. It also enables you to enjoy over-the-air updates, because these are unique architecture, because the native side and JavaScript side are completely different things. You can technically swap the JavaScript code on the fly, and that enables over-the-air updates. As long as the JavaScript side is compatible with the native side, you can ship small updates. As long as you don't change the native code, you can ship refactors without going through the App Store review. That's one of the great advantages of using React Native. And another thing is the React ecosystem. So some of the tools that I mentioned before were developed for React Web, but because of this unique architecture, React Native can just use them and benefit from it. But React Native, as powerful as it sounds, it only actually provides low-level APIs. Things like, JavaScript engine to run the JavaScript, native modules, some pretty limited native modules, native components, debugger integration, things like you would expect to come by default, right? That's what React Native provides. But as soon as you start building a real application, you will encounter that you're gonna need something much more than that. You're gonna need to have navigation, because there's no way to handle navigation with bare React Native. You're gonna need a way to handle over-the-air updates if you want to do that. There's no solution by React Native itself. You might need routing, you might need a way to create a project. So React Native, it's pretty limited and it's hard to adopt if you are a solo developer or even a startup. You will need to handle all that yourself. Your engineers would need to be familiar with native development. So that's why Meta, the creators of React Native, recommend use React Native with a framework like Expo. Expo is a full-stack React Native framework with powerful cloud services. We basically give React Native superpowers. We take those primitives and we add many more things that you can use. We handle updates for you. We make it super easy to send over-the-air updates to your users. We provide a routing system. You can scaffold your application like that, define some API routes. Let's say that you want to integrate AI. You can just put it inside an API folder, call it +API.tsx, and that code is going to run on the server. You can define tabs. All that is going to be translated to native code. You can send over-the-air updates, preview updates from your team. Whenever they change something in the application, we will provide a QR code that you can scan and see the changes from your team. This makes teams very productive and super fast. We provide more than 100 native modules that you can use with the Expo SDK, things like Expo camera, sensors, whatever native primitive that you need. It's highly possible that it's already there and you can just use it just because you are using Expo. We provide a way to build your application for you. Once you are done building your application, you can deploying it by itself. It's very hard, so we provide tools to build, submit it to the store, and even update it. One of my favorite NPX test flights. Right after you create an Expo app, you can run NPX test flight, enter your developer account, and we will deploy that on test flight for you. In 10 minutes, it's going to be available. You can download it, share it, and send it for review. My next favorite, launch.dev. If you don't want to run this on the terminal, you can just go to launch.dev, paste the link to your repo, and hit launch. And it's going to deploy it to test flight as well. Now, if that's not enough for you and you need custom integrations with native primitives, we also provide an API called Expo Modules that allows you to write native Swift and Kotlin to unlock any custom native implementation that you need. And we recently added an Expo MCP, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But Expo is much more than that. Expo is actually a community of developers all around the world building amazing applications. I just went to X to search, just looking at some of the tweets from the community, and I grabbed some of them. As you can see, they love using Expo. It makes it super easy and enjoyable to develop applications. And by the way, you can consider this your invitation in case you're building something. I would encourage you to post it on X and tag Expo. We're always happy to see what you're building, and yeah, provide, if you have any feedback and if you need help, just let us know and we're happy to help. So yeah, it is possible to build local first applications with React Native and Expo, and it turns out local first architecture improves developer experience. Things like state, right? We are used to setting state all around the application, but suddenly you are setting state in a very nested component and you need to update the entire application, like the theme or something. You would end up using context if you're using React, and then having to wrap your application and things like that, and then you have to set the state and update the application, keep track of the re-renders and stuff. Some of the technologies that I mentioned before handle all that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But unfortunately, I mean, not all of the technologies, but some of them are hard to implement. They require you to have a deep knowledge of a server. They don't have a sync engine maybe, or they are just in an early stage of development. And nowadays, honestly, everyone expects something easy and simple to start, just to explore an idea, just to build an MVP, just to have fun. So it turns out it's actually simpler than that. And I'm going to show you a demo of how you can start exploring an idea. Let's say that you have an idea right now. You can build it maybe in 15 minutes, or if you just need an application for, let's say, a conference. It is possible now to build the application on the spot. And I'm going to build an app for you right now. Okay, so the first thing, when you're building this application, the Instant team actually created an amazing CLI tool that allows you to scaffold an application right away. So right now, I'm going to create an application for polls, so everyone can post questions and everyone can vote on those questions in real time, and we're going to see them in action here. So to do that, I'm going to be using AI, of course. First, let's create this project. We have this beautiful CLI, by the way, and I'm going to call this demo. Demo 1, just to make sure that I don't have another demo here. I'm going to select Claude. Now, what is cool about Instant is that it allows you to create a new app or select an existing one. So I'm going to create a new app, and I'll call this one Demo 1, hit enter. This will create a new Expo project with Instant setup. So it's going to take a moment. It's using NPM, my mistake.
This is all NPM.
All right. Should have used Bun. Oh gosh. There we go. All right, my project is ready. Now I can open this in Cursor. Let me make this bigger so everyone can see. Oops, I opened the wrong one. Didn't see the Demo 1. Okay, let's see. So we're at Expo. We recently launched an MCP. You can learn more about it in our docs, but I already have it enabled here. And Instant also has an MCP. And I'm going to use this to quickly explore this idea. So once I have my app, I'm going to open the terminal and just start the server. Yeah, I'll say yes here. And I'm going to run this on iOS just to see if this application works. OK, cool. Now, by default, this application already should be syncing with other devices. Let's try it on web. OK, so here we have it, web and iOS, 2 platforms. I can change the color, green, blue, purple. We have sync right out of the box. Awesome. Now, I want to build an application for pools. So I actually have some notes here. I did this before. First of all, what I want to do to make sure that the AI is going to do good code, I want this AI to learn about Expo router so that we can integrate authentication. So I'm going to use Sonnet with the MCP enabled. I'm going to say learn Expo router. and hit enter. Now this is going to detect that I have the MCP installed right here, you see? And it's going to ask me, oh, okay, you want to use it? Yes. Great, so this is going to make the agent familiar with the concepts of Expo router and the file-based routing system. It even learned about protected routes, which is what I want to use right now to integrate authentication with Instant. So let me go to my note. I have this prompt, and I'm going to ask the agent to add authentication, but I want to say use protected routes to add authentication to our Instant application using OTP. Let's see. Okay, it's going to do it. It's detecting now the Instant MCP to learn about authentication. So let's hit it. It's planning next moves. Let me copy my next prompt in the meantime. I'm going to accept this. It's getting my applications using the Instant CLI. It's demo 1. Yeah, so this is actually going to take a while, so I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to show you the finished one, which is fully vibe coded as well. I just fixed a couple UI details, but that's all. If you want to try this, you can go to the App Store or Play Store and download Expo Go and scan this QR code. And you should be able to see the application in your phone right now. That's another tool, by the way, that I forgot to mention, Expo Go. It's an iOS application or Android app, it's deployed everywhere, that you can use to load the JavaScript bundle of your React Native application and see it in real time as you make changes. So here's my screen, polls. And if you scan this QR code, you should be able to see it as well. Now, in case no one does that, I'm going to do it myself. Once you download Expo Go, you can just open the camera, scan the QR code, go into the app, sign in, and start voting. So right now, for example, we have this what's the best city to live in, and we can modify it, and we can see real-time updates on all devices. And as people get in and vote, we should be able to see more updates. What's crazy about this is that it works on Android. It should work on Android. Not sure what's wrong with my Android emulator. Yeah, it's not working. It's emulator though.
Google.
Let's see on web. Yeah, so we have authentication, one-time passcode. I need an email. So I don't know, let's say expo.dev. Let's send a code. Let me check my email. Here it is, and you can see it here. Just like that, we have authentication just by initializing the project. And I think people are changing it.
Changing the color.
Nice. Yeah, so we have a couple of details there. But yeah, so let's vote here. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show. You can see here in real time how people are voting for San Francisco. But Bentonville, yeah. Woo! Bentonville, let's go. So I was able to vibe code this application using Instant MCP and Expo MCP. It works offline, by the way. It provides authentication, so it's secure, real-time collaboration. And you can do these kind of applications today just by prompting. Like with 3 prompts, you should be able to land this kind of projects. So my hope for this talk is, just to give you an idea of what kind of things you can do, like to quickly explore ideas. Maybe you are in a meetup or you are in a conference with someone else and you want to create an application, or at home with your kids, your wife, you need an application to see who's going to wash the dishes, or real time. You can explore that idea quickly with real-time functionality and authentication using Expo and Instant. And once you're ready to deploy, just run npx test like in the terminal. That's it for me.
Woohoo!